Okay, now onto a question looking at using the binomial expansion. And the question says this: to expand and to simplify 2x plus 4 raised to the power of 4. Now you've just seen previously that if you've got something to the power of 4, okay, a plus b, we had this result down here. Okay, now that gives us this. To be honest, I wouldn't bother memorizing this because you can think about what we learned on the previous video to help go through this. Now, what you do need to be able to use though is Pascal's triangle, this thing over here. So because you've got to the power of 4, you want to be able to identify which row you need. Now remember, the first row for the triangle, you called it row 0. Okay, then you had row 1, row 2, row 3, and then row 4, which is giving you the coefficients of every term of the expansion. So it's going to be 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So I'd actually write out those numbers first of all. Now how you do this is up to you. I'm going to write it as a row. So 1 plus 4. So we're using this row down here. 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 1. Now the way that I would think about it is I would say, well, we saw previously that it was always your first term, so a raised to the power in the question. So a to the 4, but in this case, right, our a value, a, is equal to 2x. You might want to make a note of that when you first start out. So a is equal to 2x. And similarly, b, the b value in our question is equal to 3. So this time we're substituting a and b with the values in the question. So b is equal to 3. Okay, very nice. Now you began with raising a to the power of the question, which is 4. For us, a is 2x. So you would go bracket 2x to the power of 4. And then you put your b value to the power of 0. But of course, anything to the power of 0 is just 1, so you can just leave this part as it is. Okay, now remember, 4 at the 0 gives you the 4 up here. You then reduce from the last video, you reduce the power of a by 1. And again, in our case, a is 2x, so you reduce it by 1. So you would go to 2x to the power of 3, and you increase the power of b by 1. So you would go, well, b is 3, so you would go 3 to the power of 1. And again, just check, 3 plus 1 gives you the 4 that you need in the question. So the power of a reduces and b increases as you go through. So we've then got plus 6, and again, now your a value 2x, the power reduces by 1 again. So it was 3, now goes to 2. And b, which is 3, the power increases by 1. So it goes from 1 to 2, so plus 3 squared. You then reduce the power of a again, which is 2x by 1. So you go to 2x to the power of 1, which is just 2x, means the same thing. And you increase the power of b by 1. So you would go to b, which is 3, to the power of 3. Just keep checking, right, when you first do this. The powers 1 add 3 gives you 4. Good. Your last part, you reduce the power of a again. Well, it was 2x to the 1. So now it's going to be 2x to the 0, which is just 1. So you can just leave it. And you increase b, which is 3, by 1. So 3 to the power of 4. And you just work through each term, simplifying it. So you've got 1 times this, well, the 1 can just go. Now 2x to the power of 4, 2 to the 4 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. So 16, and you've got x to the 4, which will just give you x to the power of 4, is the first term. You've then got, and I'm going to write it all out in long just so you can really see what's going on the first time, but you've then got 4 times 2x cubed. Now 2 cubed is 8, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So you've got 4 times 8, which is 32, and 32 times by 3 is 96. So you've got 96, but remember you've got the x cubed also, so 96 x cubed. Done. But then adding on our next term, we've got 6 times 2x squared times 3 squared. Just be really careful here. So 2x squared, or 2 squared, is 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. And you've got timesing that by 3 squared. So 24 times by 9. Again, 24 times by 9 is going to give you 216. So plus 216 and you've got the x squared there, so x to the power of 2. Next term, this one over here, we've got 4 times by 2x, well 4 times 2 gives you 8, times by 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. So you've got 8 times by 27, which gives you 216, is it? Again, so 216 x. Let's just double check that. 4 times 2 is 8, times by 27. 10 times 27 is 270, take away 54. 270, take away 54, 220, yeah, 216, that's fine, good. Don't make any mistakes there. Your last one is plus 1 times 3 to the power 4, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81. So plus 81 on the end. And this is your answer. So you've used the idea of the binomial expansion to expand this up here, which is really beautiful. Because if you did this by hand, you know, timesing every bracket by itself, you'd be there for a long time, and it's really easy to make mistakes. Okay? So just to really quickly recap, we began by getting the coefficients of every single term. So, you know, initially we had the 1 here, the 4, 6, 4, and the 1. I just didn't write I got rid of the 1 here, didn't I? Because it looks, you don't need to write it. You then make sure that the power of A is 4, and that reduces by 1 every time. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0. And then the power of B, which in this case was 3, increases. So it was 0, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. And that the powers always add up to give you the 4 in the question. And that's it. Okay, so this down here is your answer to the question. Thank you for watching. Hopefully that was clear. We'll look at another example similar, but just with a negative in the next video.